appreciate you coming down.
No problem.
Before we get started, can you take a look at that, read it and sign it, since you're just a witness, but we give that to every employee we talk to that's a witness. It is 2:47. Thanks, sir.
No problem.
Like I said, I appreciate you coming down. I talked to your partner, Lieutenant Shelby, just a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, I used to work homicides, and every now and then I'd see you out at a scene, where we had a dead body.
That's what I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm here now, and they've assigned me this investigation. They said, we're gonna open this up, and they threw it at me.
Okay.
I wasn't here when this happened, but they want me to take it. I'm talking about the employee Brad Cox incident with Kylve Vess, guy that was setting fires to the grass out there off of 30 back August of 2019. All right. So you're an arson investigator, and you know that sometimes we gotta ask hard questions on the file. Okay. And I asked you if you wanted to review your body camera that you're wearing that day, and you said you didn't want to.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Now, if I offend you, I'm sorry.
you're
I've got to do what I got to do. Because if I don't ask the questions, they'll ask me why I didn't ask questions. Can you start off with? I understand from talking to Lieutenant Shelby, because when back in the day when I was working dead bodies, you know, I never got into y'all's training and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come from the firefighter side or inspection side?
Inspection side.
Inspection side. All right. So you don't have any prior training as a firefighter or paramedic that those guys have before you entered into the arson investigation side.
See, that's kind of when we were in school.
Mm-hmm.
For my class, we went through just like operations did.
When you say operations,
That's firefighters.
okay.
We took all the same classes that they took. At a certain point, that's when we split off. So I do have some of the training. There.
Okay. Do you have some EMS training or just straight fire?
Just the fire side of it.
Okay.
EMS that happens after they complete the fire. So
Okay, so they go through fire and then they get done and then they go to EMS. Do you know, without getting into the weeds, and I'm sure I'll have to ask somebody else for officially, do all firefighters go through EMS training also?
Yes.
Okay, so is it kind of one of those things, I don't want to ride in a box, but sometimes we got to ride in a box type deal?
Well, actually, from my understanding, starting really with my class on, they were telling all of them pretty much they're gonna do 5 years on the box.
Before they get onto the truck?
Now that's probably went up higher. But
Okay.
yeah, you got a time period that you're gonna do on the box
Okay.
before you can get signed.
How long you been with the department?
Since 1996, so
Okay,
so
so-
25 years.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and you've been arson investigator pretty much that long?
Arson, I moved to arson in 2005.
Okay, all right, so you did inspections, but you had to go through the fire part to get to inspection. Okay, all right, so now I have a base. All right, so can you tell me? I know you guys were called out that day out on I-30. From your memory, from your perspective, what you recall about that day?
Well, initially came in, I believe it was originally transmitted as a grass fire, and then they assigned us. So naturally, we want to know why we were getting assigned to a grass fire.
Okay.
And they told us that they had a suspect on scene, and that the suspect was actually seen setting the fires. So we was like, okay, we're en route.
Okay.
So we headed that way. By the time I got there, man, can't remember how many police cars were there, but there were DPD cars there. I remember seeing a sheriff's car there, and then there were a couple of them that I think were I forgot what department they were, but they were all parked over the street. When I walk up, I see, no one said that was Cox. It had to have been Cox because they pointed him out, and then I took it as the officer on the engine. I don't know whether he was a lieutenant or he was a captain riding down, but he stopped me on the way up and he told me, hey, they got him in custody up there or something along those lines, and he was like, he hit my guy. And basically I took that as they were telling me that, so make sure you know something happens, because it's a grass fire. And I basically explained to them, like, it's a grass fire, most I probably can do is write a ticket.
Okay.
Alright, and I moved from there.
There's no property loss, right?
No, it's just like if it was a pile of trash somebody set on fire.
Right.
I mean, I can write a ticket for open burning, but that's
Right. Alright.
So I kind of explained that to him. I would, most I can do is write him a ticket. That's gonna be it.
So did this the officer on the truck, did he seem pretty upset or?
It was just more of a point. He wanted to make sure that I knew that his one of his personnel got struck.
Okay.
And I could see so I was like, okay.
You talking about Cox?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, and like I said, I kind of broke it down to him. Right at this point, from what I've seen so far, all I can do is write him a ticket.
Sure.
Let me figure it out. So walk up there. They already have him on the ground. He's handcuffed. And basically, since I was wearing body cam, I know people are gonna ask when I get back to the office, why didn't you bring him back here, try to interview him?
Yeah.
So I used the body cam to show his state of mind.
Sure.
So I went down there and I tried to talk to him, and he was all over the place. So once I got enough video footage of him rambling or whatever, I backed off and I let them do whatever they're gonna do.
You didn't get any flack for that, did you?
What's that?
Not bringing him back. Everybody understood.
No, that's just my way of CYA.
No, yeah.
Because
I mean, 'cause you can't talk to somebody like that. They can't even waive their rights.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different.
Right.
And some people, when you try and talk to them, they'll calm down. And
Right.
you see that they're pretty rational, and then you're like, hey, you want to come back and talk to me? Then they'll come talk to me. Some people were like he was, they just wasn't no calming them down. He was upset.
Yeah.
So once I documented that and I could show why I didn't bring him back to the office, I'm good.
Okay.
So I left that alone, and that's when I noticed that they had video cameras on the building that was right next to it. And I told my partner, I'm like, it's a long way, but they got cameras back here for a reason. Let's go take a look.
Did y'all, well, real quick before we step away from the scene, did you or your partner talk to Cox?
Like I said, I tried to,
Yeah.
but I mean, not Cox. Not I mean,
Vess.
Yeah. No, Cox, when I rolled up, he basically, the officer pointed him out and said that he was struck with a PVC pipe. And yeah, I asked him if he was all right, has he been checked out and all this and that. And he was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm all right. And that was pretty much the gist of it.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Well, let's keep going. We'll come back to that. But so the gist of that was pretty much it. Grass fire, nothing you can do. And then you check out the cameras. So y'all go over and look at the cameras.
Yeah, went and looked at the cameras and found the manager. I think it was like a candy shop or something, like they made candy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Found the manager there, and he was like, yeah, we was trying to look at it. We've been looking at trying to figure out what was going on back there because we saw y'all back there. And then they brought up the video, and it was jumping around for some reason. It played for a certain point. We could see him walking up. You could see him sit down in the spot. And then he said, I'm about to grab another, that's the end of that file. I'm about to grab another file. He grabbed that file, then it showed him walking away. But it was a fire right there where he was just sitting at.
Okay.
So I was like, when I was thinking to myself, okay, that's the last fire before they stopped him. So I was like, just let me get a copy of that. I'm good. I can write my ticket based off of that.
Okay. So did y'all, so they were there reviewing it with you?
Who?
The guy that works there, the manager or whoever,
Yeah.
he pulled it for you? How far in that video, did y'all watch?
I just got to the point where they showed him walking up, he sat down, and then he got up, the next cut, he had got up, and he was walking away, but there was a fire going right there.
Okay.
Once I saw that, I just told him, made me a copy of that.
Okay.
And he put it on the thumb drive for me, and we took off after that.
Okay, so you didn't watch the full part, even when the truck pulls up, the fire truck or anything like that?
Nah,
Okay, and you didn't get a copy of that, or you did get a copy of that?
I didn't get a copy.
Okay. And so that gentleman, the manager, whomever pulled up the video for you, he put it on a flash drive?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then you went back, and did you put it on a disc, or did you keep it on a flash drive?
It's on a flash drive, and I also had it, how did I do it? It's on the flash drive, and I also put in our evidence photos.
Okay, all right. And let me think. So I have. I can't remember where I got it. It may have been either. I think we had emailed a little bit, and I think I got this fire report.
You should have got that from Chief Moore.
Yeah, Chief Moore. I'm gonna have to
Stored
get.
in the records.
I'm gonna have to get a complete, copy of the case file. It's probably not that big because it's just a. What do you call it? An
It
incendiary.
was just that was a citation. So we just put together a book, and it basically went to municipal courts.
Okay, all right. So the case file, what y'all's copy is somewhere in y'all's shop?
Nah, not from my understanding. When we write a citation, we put it in a folder with the copies and stuff stapled on the inside. They call it a prosecution report, but it's not really a full blown prosecution report.
Because it's a Class C?
Yeah, it's just that form and whatever evidence we have. I think I made a copy of the videos and put those on a thumb drive and put that in a folder. I took that down to all the inspections, and whoever handles courts, they take that and they just give it to courts.
Okay, so you guys don't retain a copy of what you turned over to the courts?
The video and pictures, but as far as that form, no.
Okay, all right. So there's really not a case file for this that you guys have? And when I say case file, each case that I get, I mean, it's a folder, and it's got everything in it, and if I turn something over to the city court on a Class C or even the county, they get a mirror of what I have, but I still have.
See, when we write a citation, we don't make a full-blown case file for it.
Okay.
That is basically sent down the hall, given to inspection, they take it to court.
Okay.
And from that point on, if they want anything else from us, they'll call us and, hey, go through Chief Moore, and we'll shoot them whatever else they need.
Do you recall if you got anything on that?
No.
Okay. And was it an actual ticket, like I would write a ticket, or is it just a form you fill out so that the city
No,
court?
it's an actual ticket.
Actual ticket? Do you know if that ticket was paid, time served, or dismissed or anything?
No idea.
Okay, all right. Do you recall if you ever called the court on it?
No.
Okay. And talking to Lieutenant Shelby, so Cherry first, then Shelby, so you drafted this report. And help me out, because I know they're going to ask me about this. With, on your report, if you could help me out, I highlighted that part right there. Where it states that they were trying to prevent him from leaving.
And that's when he said that,
Who had told you, well, that's what I'm trying to get at, because your video just shows Vess basically starting a fire. Okay, but your video doesn't contain anything with firefighters. Where do we get that the firefighters were trying to stop him, prevent him from leaving?
they told me that.
Who told you that?
When I first rolled up, that was part of that whole conversation.
With the officer on the truck?
Yeah, on the engine.
Okay, all right, so the officer on the engine did that? Do you remember that officer's name by chance?
that's gonna be on the run sheet.
Okay, and each engine only has one officer, right?
Yeah,
Okay, alright, so the officer gave you that, and we don't know if the citation was dismissed, paid for, or anything like
I
that?
have no idea.
Okay, and, when you, you've been doing, arsons a good bit, have you ever come across or had to deal with Mr. Vess, or the suspect that day?
No,
The guy on the, okay. When you, in your experience as an arson investigator, when you deal with, and I know that runs the gamut, you know, it's everybody, it's just like murders, you know, when I was working murders, like, there's different reasons people kill people.
mm,
Is there a typical or a baseline personality or anything about people that start fires? You know, a guy starting a fire in the grass on the side of the road, or anything you can judge, or
nah, I mean, most of the classes that I've been to and the training I went to, we basically discussed serial arsonists, people that actually get a thrill from doing it.
Okay.
Most people that were like him, I mean, I just took it that for a fact that he might have like a mental issue.
Okay.
And that's the reason why he was out there doing it. But as far as trying to figure that out, no. I
Okay.
don't get into that.
And I'm not, and Kat, I'm not saying that you needed to. I'm just asking from your experience, you know, and you're the guy, you're the arson guy when you show up, you know, the opinion you formed based on what you saw and everything was that at the time, this guy was probably having some mental issue, or you think he's just pissed off, lighting fires, or what? Because you also saw him when he was, you know, handcuffed, and you got there too.
Yeah, like I said, when I pulled up, he was basically rolling around trying to get away from them. They were trying to hold him down, and he was all over the place with his conversation.
Okay.
Couldn't let him down and start a conversation with him, put it like that.
All right. So, did you think it was high or just crazy, or?
No idea.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Either one of the two.
Okay. All right. All right. Give me a second, okay? Do you remember when the first time you saw the video, the extended part, not the part where that y'all got for your file?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the first time that you saw the rest of the video where the fire truck pulls up and then the altercation between Cox and Vess?
Yeah, that's when I figured out why everything was going on, why they kept asking for stuff. It was on the news.
Okay, so you mean 2 years later? Because this was 2 years ago. So you never saw that video at all? Okay. After this incident, when y'all were, you and Lieutenant Shelley were leaving, or before you even got to the building, you know, but after, when you were walking away back to your cars, did anybody talk to you after that about that incident?
Nah.
Okay. Did you discuss that incident with anybody else? I'm talking about the incident as a whole, not just the fire, but the incidents, the whole complete package.
Nah. I remember after it happened, I remember getting a call at home and they asked me, they were kind of trying to confirm that I had my body cam on. I told them, yeah, I did.
Who's that?
That was the receptionist. She was calling, and she was basically calling for the chiefs. She got me on the phone, and
So that evening?
No, this was after it happened. This was like a couple of weeks after it happened.
Okay.
She got me on the phone, and I can't remember which chief was there, but I was on speaker basically, and they were asking me, "Hey, you had body cam on, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they asked me, "Was it rolling? Did I have it on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was wearing it. It was on." And that was pretty much the gist of it. Like, okay. And they asked me, did I label the video footage? And I was like, yeah, it should be labeled unless, have issues getting in there again. But I believe I could get in there and that should be labeled. And it should have like our incident number, the address, and it should be classified as incendiary. And they're like, okay. And then I asked them what it was all about, what's going on. And they basically told me, hey, you'll find out when it come out.
That's all they said?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the gist of it. And then when I came back to work that next shift at it was a while after that. That's when I can't remember exactly when, but that's when I started hearing rumors that supposedly he got transported and he got Vess.
Yes, okay.
Vess. Supposedly he got transported and he got when he got to the emergency room he got jumped. And I was just like, wow, okay. And I was like, y'all sure? I'm like, that's when I started asking the question. I was like, where did they transport him to? Because 9 times out of 10, every emergency room around here has video cameras covering the doors and everything. All that's gonna be on footage, that ought to clear it. And it was like, well, nobody knew.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I was like, wow, so that's why they called me back, asking me for that stuff.
Okay, so you figured after that, the rumor you were hearing about the hospital, that's when the chief started calling, asking about your...
No, the chief's called and asked for that stuff, and then a little while later, that's when I started hearing the rumors about supposedly he got transported to the emergency room and he got jumped at the emergency room. They said that the paramedics did it. So I was like, wow, okay. That's when I started asking questions. I was like, did they pull video footage from the emergency room? Because all of them were covered by security cameras all over the place. And nobody knew anything, so.
Do you remember when this like on our reports on our RMS system, when we do a report, it kind of has, there's an audit that shows like when we started the report and when we completed the report, shit like Do you know when you made this report?
Date and stuff at the top.
Okay, so you got
I
eight.
did it on that date.
Yeah, but at 12:45, that was the time of the alarm, right? Or that was the time you got the
That
call?
was the time the run came in.
Okay, do you
I
know?
did it as soon as I cleared the scene, so if you get the incident report,
Yeah,
it's gonna have what time I cleared. Cause, stayed on scene, went around there, looked at the video, got a copy of the video, headed back, cleared, headed back to the office and started working on that.
okay. Let me ask you this, you're gonna, cause there's a reason, I wanted you to, I asked you to look at your video, your body camera, because I think it was a lieutenant that was on the truck, on the fire engine. When he talked to you, and then he talked to, or between you and Lieutenant Shelby, all right? He never said anything about trying to prevent the suspect from leaving. Okay. He did say that the suspect, Mr. Vess, he calls him the guy or whatever, he did hit my guy, with a PVC pipe. But he never made mention that they were trying to prevent him from leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to figure out how that got in there. I mean, I know how it got in there with making the report, but did somebody else say something to you afterwards? Was there a panic afterwards? Because I'm looking at this incident and watching body cameras of everybody, and there's certain people that are standoffish in here, and it being Cox and the other two, the young rookies that were on the fire engine also.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of standing away, avoiding contact from a lot of people after this incident. So, and I know the lieutenant was pretty hot, about it, but he never said anything about trying to prevent him from leaving. So I didn't know if somebody told you afterward, hey, this is what really happened or what.
Not sure when he gave me that info, but it had to be a while I was there.
Okay. So you're saying, I mean, for sure, for you, that the officer on the fire engine told you that they were trying to prevent him from leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this then. Is there anything in a firefighter's training, okay, anything in a firefighter's training about preventing a suspect from leaving or stopping, not stopping him from starting a fire, I get that, but if he's wanting to leave, are y'all trained, are they trained to apprehend, stop, or anything like that?
Put it like this. They don't receive official training, but that's not the first time. You know what I mean? I've been on one time I was sitting there talking with the suspect. I heard them holding a person at the scene that had just vandalized somebody else's property, waiting on DPD to get there.
Right. Okay.
So, they're gonna do what they try to do to basically protect the public. Now, as far as being trained to do that, nah, they haven't been trained to do that.
Okay.
But they're gonna try to do the right thing.
I'm not saying it's not the right thing, Captain. I'm not saying that. I just want to clarify. Are they trained to do that? Because, when as an officer, if I got to take action, is it within policy? You see what I'm saying? If my use of force is within policy, then I'm more than okay. But if it's not within policy, does it fit into the right thing? That's all I'm asking. If there's any training on that, but you came through the fire side, but you don't have any EMS training. All right, so I'm not going to bother asking you about any EMS training on that. Okay. Was there any afterwards? How long have you known Cox?
No.
Okay. When did you don't know him? Never worked with him or anything? At what point did you learn that he practiced or was proficient in mixed martial arts? He was an MMA fighter.
That was a while after when all the rumors started floating around.
Okay. So you didn't know at the time that he was an MMA fighter. You didn't know anything about him? Okay. All right. Okay. You don't know if that citation was dismissed or adjudicated or anything like that, do you?
No.
Okay.
Didn't follow up with it.
Okay, I got you.
I
Okay.
hardly ever follow up with citations if they call me, they call me. If they don't, they don't.
Fair enough, fair enough. Do you know if there's any, I haven't been to a firehouse in a long time. There's no dash cameras, they don't put cameras on fire trucks, do they?
No.
Okay, alright. And firefighters don't wear body cameras.
No.
I'm sure there's a HIPAA issue about that, okay. Alright, do you guys, I know with our department, well, at least until this last legislative cycle, before then, like if we're on a scene, body cameras rolling, and then once the scene, guy's arrested, or we're just, the officers are back at the cars after the scenes, before you leave, but you're talking about the deal, you can pause it or turn it off to talk to another officer. Do y'all practice that, or how do you handle that?
We try to do that now.
Now? Okay. Before, did you do that?
No, we haven't received any training on those. They just basically
There
show
you
them
go.
our needs.
Okay. Alright. Alright, when did you get when was the first time you got training on them?
I still got trained.
They basically gave you your password and said, here you go?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Alright. Give me a second. I think I'm pretty much done. Hold on.